Good day to you. This is Mrs. Hawk, and I real quickly here want to point out for you the resources that are available on either of my websites for ninth grade physical science, which has these tabs across the top, and the same is true for 10th grade biology. And we're going to start here on the 10th grade biology site with the course expectations. Clicking on this link right here will take you to a separate document that has these pieces of information in it. And I'll click on that right now. This document has a list of the school supplies, class resources, also has a description of assignments versus tests and quizzes. And the purpose of assignments is just like a soccer practice, to practice for our tests and quizzes. Electronic devices in class can be helpful or a distraction. The link under attendance describes Mrs. Hawk's attendance policy. And being in class can be pretty important. Sometimes things are able to be made up outside of class, and sometimes the labs are put away by the time we get back to class. Grading scale describes what is an A, a B, a C, a D, and an F in Mrs. Hawk's class, both in number and description. Sometimes students find class challenging, and this link takes you to a list of resources that students can use to improve their study strategies. And the next place I'm going to take you is on either biology or physical science. There is a resources from class, the units of study page. And in here is a link to every unit that we are going to do in the year. And the particular one that we're going to use today is cell division. And when we click on cell division, it takes us to this link right here. And the most obvious piece of this web page is the daily plan. This slideshow is a Google slideshow, and it is presented in the front of class every single day when students come in. It is also a useful piece on the web page because one can click on a particular day and see what things it is we are doing on that particular day. There's usually something for students to do right when they walk in the room, what it is that we are going to be doing in class, along with what is the homework that will be due in the future. Along this side over here are the notes that I have put together for students. Sometimes most of the time we use them in class, but it's a good way to figure out what it is that you missed if you missed notes. Some people like to take these and organize them in their own way. Just reading them probably isn't enough. There, in each page, there's also access to Skyward and access to Google Classroom. We will use Google Classroom within class and outside of class. There's also a link to CK12 and some KIA practice. The KIA practice has mostly vocabulary practice for students in either biology or physical science. Also an option to email either Mrs. Hawk or Mrs. Kreitzman if one is interested. Down in the bottom, there are some links that are specific to this particular unit. And I opened this particular unit because I wanted to point out Mr. W. raps. And his raps are fun and entertaining and quite informative. We find that we write some of his lyrics on our tests as answers sometimes. So that's kind of fun. And the top link is a link to a unit planner. And a couple of students asked for this as a resource just last year, so I put them on for every unit. And this is a typed up version of the front of every unit packet that students receive at the beginning of the unit. It tells what goals we need to be working on, and then what is the vocabulary for that particular unit. And the front page looks like this for every unit. The rest of the document is dependent upon what is in that particular unit. And I'm going to switch to the physical science website just to do some variety here. Again, course expectations, resources from class. And on this page, I wanted to point out the calendar. This is a very general topic as to what we are going to be doing in that day and not specific details, but it gives you a good big picture, and it will change as I find that students need more time or perhaps less time on a particular topic. And the last link over here that I'm going to describe is the curriculum. And this particular page is probably more for other physical science teachers or other biology teachers for biology. And this is a link to a document where they can find many resources and labs and activities that we are going to be doing throughout the unit. This page right here, this link takes you to the La Crescent Hocus School District website, and this one takes one straight to biology. I hope you find these resources helpful in studying and preparing for your science classes.